Hi, I'm Britt.
And my name is Alissa.
And this is Skeletales.
And this is the podcast where we strive to answer the age-old question of, is my dead grandma watching me?
We do. We also share true tales of the strange, unusual, and paranormal.
Heck yeah, we do. And also we say Happy New Year because we
Happy New Year!
totally didn't do that in the last episode when we were supposed to.
It's still new. The year is still new.
Do you have any resolutions, my friend?
I'm kind of a basic bitch, and I just want to exercise more, just to get my body moving.
Same.
Hiking, pickleball, sunshine if it's out.
Okay, you put it out on record now, so everyone, if you see Britt sitting on her ass, you kick her out the door, throw on some running shoes. Exactly.
What about you? You have any?
I mean, same. I'm also doing that whole dry January thing, but my main resolution, Britt, is to see more ghosts this year. Okay,
2024 is your year. I know it.
Putting that out there to the universe and
to all the ghosts out there.
Yes.
Shit! Watch out tonight.
We'll see what happens. I also want to put the disclaimer. I want to see the ghosts as a living person. I don't want to join the ghosts and be amongst the dead, okay?
Correct.
Asterisk,
okay,
asterisk.
when you said as a living person, I thought you wanted the ghost to be alive. And so I was like, wait, are you talking about a zombie? Don't want to know zombies.
I am going to start bringing people back from the dead is my New Year's resolution. There's too many dead bodies, not enough zombies. Let's make it happen.
Oh, Lordy. What are we talking about today, Alissa?
Dude, I think we're just going to talk about some good old paranormal shit.
Some good old ghosty shit.
Ghosty,
yes.
Paranormal, haunting shit. So
I'm so ready. What do you got for me?
Okay, so my first story comes from Tony. And they say, I was helping start a church that also had a men's home that took in men that struggled with drugs, alcohol, and homelessness free of charge. We would walk around handing out flyers, inviting people to the church and the service, the services the men's home provided. And one day I walked into a used car dealership and met a man named Tony who worked there. My name is also Tony, and he told me that there's a men's home like ours that saved his life and helped change him. There was a small kitchen at the dealership, and Tony was cooking fried chicken and mashed potatoes and corn, and he asked me to eat lunch with him. And we sat down, and he told me all about his struggles with alcohol and how he got through everything and changed his life. He told me his girlfriend lived in the town our church was in, and that he would be visiting her that weekend and would stop by the church. I left, and he never showed up, and I stopped by the dealership a couple of times, and he wasn't there. I went back again, and he wasn't there. So I asked one of the guys working there for him, and the man looked at me puzzled and asked me what we talked about. I told him how I ate lunch with him, and he asked me what we ate, and I told him we ate fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn, and the man looked even more puzzled. He asked me when. I told him over a month ago, and he said that the dealership had closed down for a while during that time, and that Tony had died in a car crash visiting his girlfriend in the town my church was in 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
I didn't know what to say or think. I walked out, and the owner of the dealership ran out and asked me if I was playing some kind of sick joke. I told the man, no, I told him everything, and that we ate fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. He told me that Tony would make fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn every Friday, but had died 5 years prior. And I told the man I'd only lived in Texas for a few months. I was from California and had no way of knowing Tony prior to that. He told me he didn't know what was going on, and he put his head down and walked into the dealership. I too struggled with alcohol, and I believed that Tony was allowed to come over from the afterlife to talk to me about what I needed to change in my life. To this day, I've never gone back, and I still don't know what to think.
Whoa. Oh, God. You have started it off with chef's kiss.
A chef that prepares chicken, cornbread, and what did he eat?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
I know, because I'm real hungry. That sounds really good.
It kind of does sound really good.
Great story. Well done, Tony. Beautiful.
Do you have one for me, Britt?
I do. I came across the most amazing stories. Apparently, BuzzFeed every month asks its readers to send in their creepiest, most amazing stories. And Angelica Martinez on the BuzzFeed staff pops these out. And I got sucked in hard. For maybe 2 hours at midnight, I was scrolling through all these stories. And then I had to use the restroom at one point. I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared.
Oh, I love it. I hate it, but I love it. But that means you got some good shit coming our way.
I'm telling you now, this is where I got my stories from. This story comes from Kimberly. I used to work on site of an old cotton mill. It had since been knocked down and turned into a retail park. There was a 100% pain in the ass ghost in our storeroom. I would load up a trolley with stock and go to put it on the shop floor. And when I turned around, the entire trolley would be empty. And I don't mean just knocked over. I mean every item was back where I picked it up from. It would piss me off more than it would scare me. The ghosts used to peek around at us. There is a bit in the stock room where the TV boxes were packed real tight together with zero room between them, apart from like one corridor in the middle. And I would get a feeling of being watched. And then I'd turn to look and would see a shadow dip back behind one of the TV boxes, like it was watching you and then hiding when it got caught. Oh, and it used to turn the lights off too. And that was annoying because it would always happen when you were the farthest away from the switch. I would talk to it all the time. And if I was having an especially bad day, I would just ask it to leave me alone. And it would.
It sounds like a kid.
It does.
It sounds like a child. Well, they don't listen. Never mind. That part doesn't sound like a child.
Or a ghost that's maybe trying to be helpful of like, oh, you have all of this stuff on the trolley. Let me help you. But they actually put it back where it came from and not where it actually needs to go. Maybe they could like stock the shelves for you and not put it back in the stock room.
I would love to see a videotape of whatever happens there. Like, I want to see that happening. Like, is it magic? Like, whoop,
yes.
Or is it 1 second? It's like, whoop, just there and then gone. Like,
yeah. Or do you slowly see the boxes floating across in the stock room or whatever? Yeah.
I'm picturing Harry Potter for some reason. I don't know why. The whole turning it. I don't know if they're trying to be helpful when they turn the lights off.
When you're farthest away.
Farthest away. But I wonder, were they an old, like, well, she said it was a cotton factory, right?
Yeah.
So like a seamstress is or something?
They're tricksy, those seamstresses.
Or are they making it from like the cotton ball into fabric?
She didn't specify.
Okay. I was thinking it was going to be like a stockman, like one of our little stock person ghosts who can't stop working in the afterlife. They just keep at it.
Yes.
They're like, how'd this fucking cart full of shit get here? Again, I just put this away.
Like in their way, and then they got to fix it. Yeah.
So they're like, there's another timeline where this present ghost, and they're just going back and forth.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
Oh, yes. Such a good one. Love
Solved.
it. Mischief. Okay, I have a couple of short ones that
perfect.
I just want to squeeze out here. Squish into
sounds
here.
So gross.
Squeeze. I'm just going to squeeze these stories out real quick. Should I grunt the whole time I'm doing it?
Yes.
All right. This one is from Marianne. And she says, my husband and I lived in a haunted house for 17 years, and many people in the home saw many different things happen. But several incidents in particular stand out because more than one person/animal saw them at the same time and reacted. Here's one of them. It was a May evening, and my husband and I were the only ones in the house. It was still light outside. We were sitting diagonal from one another, me in my recliner and him on the couch. There was nothing behind my recliner, and there was a wall behind the couch. I saw my husband turn his head towards our staircase and then turn back to me, but didn't think anything of it. I then saw to my left, between he and I, what looked like 1,000 tiny mirrors, all reflecting light. I didn't immediately look because I'd seen enough in that house that I did not want to see something else. But then my husband looked, so I had to look. Together, we watched a 7-foot tall figure made of light walk out of the wall and through part of the couch that he was sitting on. Through the part of the couch he was sitting on. It came within a couple of inches of me, turned and walked through my dining room and then around the end of the bar of my kitchen and disappeared in a triangle of light. I still talk about it to this day.
What? Now, we hear about shadow people all the time. We don't hear about light people. This is new, and I'm excited about this.
I thought you were going to say white people, and I was going to say, no, we hear about them all the time. But light people, not so much. And honestly, the light person, what got me about this was the triangle of light. Portals are all round usually or something, or maybe, but don't hear much about triangle portals.
No,
Which
you don't.
It is one of the strongest shapes, so it might make the most sense with all the cosmic forces and shit. It should all be triangles, really.
Mystery. Unsolved. Somebody tell us what the fuck's going on. I love it. All right, you ready for my next one?
Do you have another one?
I do.
Do you want to talk to each other the whole time? Let's talk at the same time.
Here we go. Okay. Alissa. This comes from Anonymous. 2 weeks after I gave birth to twins, I woke up one morning on my bed, even though I know that I'd fallen asleep on the couch the night before. I walked to the lounge and saw everything was clean. The lounge was cleaned, my children's toys were all put away, and the kitchen was spotless. I saw my 3-year-old sitting on the couch eating breakfast and watching Coco Melon. She turned around and looked surprised to see that I was up. She started to tell me about last night when she came to me when I was asleep on the couch because she'd had a nightmare. But Emma told her not to disturb me. She told me that Emma brought me to my bed because apparently sleeping on the couch wasn't good for me in my condition. I usually make breakfast for my 3-year-old, but she told me that Emma had already made it for her. I thought that she was just joking and playing with me, but when I told her that I was going to feed the twins, she told me that Emma had done that too. I just ignored what she had said and took her to school. On the way there, she asked me, "Mummy, why does Emma have such gray hair?" She also started nagging me and telling me that she wants to sit in the front of the car and that Emma should sit in the back. Later, when my husband returned home from work, I told him all about what my 3-year-old was telling me that morning. It turns out that his late grandmother's name was, you guessed it, Emma.
Oh, I love that one so much.
Grandma helping out.
I thought maybe the mom was sleepwalking or she had like this alter ego, like when mommy goes to sleep, Emma wakes up, but it's really all mommy. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Speaking of old ladies, I have a story for you.
Yes.
Me and my friend had gone for a client's work to the neighboring city. After completing the task, we were traveling back to our hometown in the night. We were traveling in his car and it wasn't too late, just around 10 p.m. or so. So the arrangement was like this. Our car was first, then behind us was some other car, and so on. So they were driving on a street, apparently, like a normal line of cars.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Both of us saw an old lady with gray hair who was standing on the divider in the middle as it was a 2-lane highway. She was looking in our direction only, and she was at some distance. So both of us thought she wants to cross the highway, and we were pretty sure that she would not dare to cross the road because she could see the cars coming her way. My friend kept driving at a constant speed, and when we came a little near her, I could see that she was wearing clothes which had small flowers printed on it. She was not less than 70 years old. She had short gray hair, medium height, and frail. She was looking right at us. Just as we were about to cross her and the distance between us and her was just around 8 to 10 meters, at a blink of an eye, she was right in front of our car. I don't know how and when she jumped, but my friend, who's a very good driver, quickly and sharply cut the vehicle to the left and overtook her. I was so scared because I thought we may have hit her. My friend was scared too. He looked in the rearview mirror, but the old woman was nowhere to be seen. Even the cars behind us just kept moving at a constant speed as if nothing happened. We both looked at each other in surprise and terror. My friend didn't want me to be scared, so he said that maybe the old lady jumped back on the divider. But it was out of the question because she was 70 years old. No way she could have done that, and so swiftly. But both of us just brushed off the thought that it was a ghost. After a week or so, we were traveling back to our hometown from work. Same city, same highway, around same time in the night. And again, we were just chit-chatting. We'd almost forgot about the incident, which had happened a week before. But this time, our car was behind one car, which was moving in the same direction as we were. Imagine this. On the same spot, the driver who was right ahead of us took a sharp and quick cut to the left, seemed as if he was trying to save someone from taking a hit. But we didn't see anyone, and both of us again looked at each other, surprised. Same experience, twice. My hair stood on its end, and I still feel the chill when I remember this incident.
Ooh, who's this old lady messing with all these drivers?
That's what it sounds like. She's just waiting. She's waiting for the one person, maybe someone she makes eye contact with or something, like to just fuck with.
Yes.
Just dart out in front of the car. That sounds like fun afterlife.
Honestly, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but
exactly.
just mess with them a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed.
So,
ooh, good story.
Do you have another one?
Before I tell my next story, though, I'm going to share some exciting news with you. Skeletels Merch Shop now has a new tote bag that with our special illustration from Jason at Hi Hello There that says, "Shadow people are people too." Jason, a Portland-based illustrator, has created a special new design for us that says "Shadow people are people too." We've got it on a t-shirt and now a tote bag. So in case you haven't been listening and haven't heard, Hi Hello There is an art brand created by Jason. He creates fun, adorable skulls, ghosties, monsters, cryptids, and he turns them into stickers, enamel pins, shirts, and other exciting fun art goods. His mission is to put art in the world that makes people smile, and I absolutely love that. If you consider yourself a fun person and like fun art, go ahead and give him a follow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and let him know that Skeletels sent you. Skeletels listeners get a special discount of 15% off your order from the shop, hihelloThere.art. Use coupon code SHADOWPEOPLE at checkout. Again, that's hihelloThere.art. And Skeletels listeners will get 15% off. Code SHADOW PEOPLE. All right, are you ready for my story now, Alissa?
Oh yeah, I thought it was my turn to tell a story again. I got excited.
I had to tell you about Jason. All right, my story again comes from Mr. Anonymous. Oh wait, or Mrs. My next story comes from Anonymous. My aunt and uncle are convinced their house is haunted, but I didn't believe them until recently. They said that the ghost seemed more playful than malicious and would mess around with technology like phone alarms that went off when they weren't sad, or the TV turning the volume or changing the channel, or the dishwasher beeping when the cycle wasn't even over. I was extremely dubious and chalked it up to their overactive imaginations. One day I was home alone at their house watching their new puppy while my uncle went out to get stuff for the said puppy and my aunt was at work. There was a bad storm going on outside, like trees were falling down and it was real bad. So my very important job was to sit on the couch and cuddle the puppy. All of a sudden, the puppy stopped and began barking and growling toward the kitchen. But the kitchen was completely empty. I just thought that he was being a puppy, so I didn't think much of it. He continued, and then the fridge started beeping really loudly. Beep, 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 like the sound when you leave the door open, except it was much louder and sharper for whatever reason. So, holding the puppy, I walk over to the kitchen to check the fridge, which was closed all the way, and I couldn't figure out why it was beeping until suddenly, beep, it just stopped. And a few seconds later, a massive tree fell down through the roof of the living room, right onto the couch where I and the puppy were sitting. The puppy and I would likely have died if it weren't for the refrigerator beeping randomly. I'm not saying it was a ghost, but I'm not saying it wasn't either.
I was saying it wasn't a ghost up until that part. My brain. I was
Because
like,
electronic, yes.
Yeah, and like a power surge. Maybe it was a carbon monoxide detector and you're just losing your mind a little bit. I wonder if it is Morse code. SOS. Tree. T.
S. Oh, yeah, I don't know
That's
what
not
tree is in
Morse code also. None of... I'm pretty sure it's like beep, beep, dot, dot, beep, 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 beep.
You mean the letters
beep,
just don't beep out?
Or it's beep, beep, beep. I don't know what Morse code is for SOS. Like, that should be basic. Dang it. It's definitely not SOS. Pretty sure, though. That's what I could say.
Oh my God.
Full
it
confidence.
Sounded like a
Did you
smoker's laugh. No, it was a cough.
Okay, so my next story. So I was in an apartment that I would clean frequently. I would be in the kitchen down on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor, and would feel a wisp of air, exactly how it feels when someone walks through real quick. That would happen always. Other people in the apartment had experienced paranormal experiences as well. The apartments were old and had a history of 3 deaths due to poor health. Once I walked into the dining room and saw a man, just his torso, and then I closed my eyes. He was skinny and older with a plaid shirt, but he was charred like he had been in a fire.
Oh.
One night I slept over, and as I slept, I felt something stroking my arm very lightly and gently. I could not tell. Nope. I could tell it did not want to startle me and was trying very hard not to. But it wanted my attention and possibly a message of some sort. Actually, I think it could have been my friend's mother, who was the last death in that apartment. Anyways, with my eyes still closed, I said out loud, "Go away. You're dead. You don't belong here, and you don't have permission to be here. Go into the light." The yelling woke up my friend lying next to me, and we looked toward the corner by the door as 3 or 4 cylinder-like, Coke can-sized white lights with sparkles floated upwards and away.
Bye.
We both saw it. It was not just me, but it was a beautiful type of feeling, and it was just magical to see. And afterwards, there was a different, lighter feeling around the apartments, and the paranormal type incidences subsided. Can't say that word. Subsided.
Ooh, I'm curious what that ghost who was stroking her arm wanted to tell her.
Yeah, I don't know.
She got the feeling that she didn't want to scare her, but it was like, stroke, stroke. Let me tell you something, darling.
But what if it was Charred Man?
Oh, okay, go.
Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Out of here.
But I like how she booted one ghost and they're all like, whoop, out of here. Like now 4 of them. Like,
yeah, there's so many. They're like, oh, well, she told us to go.
Or maybe that's what they were waiting for the whole time. And
Just
so that's why they kept appearing to people. They're like, oh my God, just say the fucking magic
us.
words.
Yes.
Like, tell us, like, someone's got to tell us to go in the light. Like, there's some like magic phrase that we don't know. And she uttered it.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, that was good. I like that a lot.
Okay. Do you have any more stories?
I have one last story for you.
Okay.
My fiance and I were in Nashville touring wedding venues. Afterwards, we visited Broadway and checked out the bars and live music, as you do in Nashville, and we were both a little tipsy. We called it an early night as we had to drive home to D.C. the next afternoon, and we went back to our hotel around 7 p.m. We took a nap, and then around 9, we ordered takeout and ate it in the room, talking about the day. Our hotel room was set up a bit oddly. The front door opened into the sleeping space, and past the bed was the living room, separated by a protrusion coming out from the wall. My fiancé went to sleep, and I stayed up for a bit scrolling on my phone. I don't know what time I eventually went to bed. At some point in the night, I woke up on my side facing the living room. I felt like I was being watched. I opened my eyes, and there was a shadow person tucked into the protrusion separating the rooms. I felt like they were staring at me, and I've had paranormal experiences before, so I wasn't immediately terrified. They were about 5'7" with shoulder-length, curly, poofy hair, kind of like a silhouette of Sirius Black. I acknowledged them and told them that they could stay if they were respectful and minded their own, and that we would be out of their space in the morning. I rolled over and hugged my fiancé and went back to sleep without incident. We checked out of the hotel, got breakfast, and hit the road the next morning. It was pitch black as we were driving through mountains when my fiancé said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you about this dream I had last night." He proceeded to tell me that he was dreaming and that he opened his eyes and there was a figure standing over him, nose to nose, almost inspecting him. The dream then shifted, and he was now watching himself and the figure from a third person's perspective. He said that the shadow figure was mirroring him. When he moved to get around it, it mimicked him and blocked him so that he couldn't get to me and he couldn't get away. My heart was pounding when I asked him what it looked like, and he said that it was hard to tell because there weren't any identifiable features. They were a shadow, but they did have distinct poofy hair that reached its shoulders. I was shocked. I told him that I had never planned to tell him what I had seen because I knew that he got uncomfortable when I did that kind of thing. But then I told him how I had seen the same figure in the corner of our room. We were both shocked, and needless to say, we did not go back to that hotel on our wedding planning trips to Nashville.
I feel like that's what a shadow person should do, is kind of act like your shadow and be in your way all the time. Like, what is the deal with the shadow, right? Like, yeah, they mirror you. Like, that would be such a frustrating, like, awesome, like, defense, right? Like, if you had a superpower to fight people, you'd just be like,
block,
in their face.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of how my 11-year-old is.
Is he a shadow person?
She's like, just move.
Yeah.
When I first was reading this story, I thought, oh, sleep paralysis, something or other. But the fact that both of them experienced the same shadow person in the same night was pretty telling. I thought that was pretty cool.
I really like that. I am confused, I think. I know shadow people are people too, but aren't they bad people? Aren't they like evil? Aren't they supposed to be like I wouldn't be okay with one lurking. Like, if you see one, isn't that like a bad omen?
There's mixed messages out there. Some people think that they're incredibly intelligent beings that aren't causing you harm. They just want to watch you.
Oh, yeah.
And then other people see shadow people and they get the eerie, dark, can't get away fast enough feeling. So it's kind of a mixed bag out there. Most people don't see shadow people and think, oh, friend, because it's a little scary. But some people will bet their life that it is an intelligent force that is not ghostly, but something otherworldly.
I remember this now, like a transdimensional being, possibly planetary being watching our makers, perhaps. It's coming back to me.
But you don't hear a lot about poofy haired shadow people. You got your hat one and your trench coat one, but you don't hear the poofy haired one too often.
I love the idea of like hippie, dippy shadow people, anti-establishment shadow people who like, no, man, that hat's too constricting. Gonna wear a headband. Bro. Or they're naked, but we can't tell because they're all shadows. They're like, look at me. Love it.
And then you're like, get out of my way, bro. But look, I'm naked.
Yeah, that's why he's rubbing against him. Woo, woo, shadow
this changes
boner.
The story a lot, and I'm into it.
Sorry.
Alissa, if anybody has a ghostly experience that they would want to write in, how can they do that?
Well, Brittany, they could send it into our hot box at skeletalspodcast@gmail.com. They could also call our hotline.
That's right. 302-689-DEAD. 302-689-3323. We are looking for ghosty experiences. We are also, if you're up for it, looking for stories from your kids. So if your kids want to share something they read or witnessed or made up even, that's kind of fun. We would love to hear from them by the phone. So call us with those stories there.
I totally forgot about that. Yes, that would be awesome. The Skeletots episode.
Yes. Oh, Skeletots. I'm writing that down.
It reminds me of tater tot, but scarier. Okay, what else, Brittany? We've got a merch shop. I know you touched on that earlier.
I'm so glad you mentioned the merch shop because this episode is dedicated to our dear listener, Jennifer, who bought us our drinks for tonight. Shall we clink?
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes.
And I also wanted to say thank you to all the people out there who bought Shadow People or People 2 t-shirts. Now go ahead and go over there and grab your Shadow People or People 2 tote if you're not a t-shirt person. And that you can find at skeletalspodcast.etsy.com. We are on all of the socials. You can message us over there, post fun paranormal shit or even just goofy shit that makes you laugh. We love that over on Skeletales and Skeletales community.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we're on all the social. You've already said that. I don't need to repeat it.
YouTube. You can talk about YouTube.
What do I need to do?
You just say, we're on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'll say that. Okay, thank you. Oh, hey, you should also go check us out over on the YouTubes. We've got all our episodes. No, that's a lie. No, that's a lie. There's episodes over on YouTube for you to go check out. Some special behind the scenes features. I didn't mean to say that again. I glitched. There's probably stories about glitches. So yeah, go check us out on the YouTubes. Please subscribe, share, like, rate, review, tell a friend, tell your grandma, tell your kids to tell their kids' friends.
Yes.
All of it. Tell the world about Skeletales, please.
Please.
Anything else, Britt? I'm itching. I'm getting
is.
nervous. I don't know why.
There is something really important before we leave. You know what it is?
No.
Haunt y'all later.
Haunt you later.
Good
night.